What's up, guys? I'm Luke Garrison, frontman of the Fallback Plan, and being committed made me do this. Committed is very cathartic. There's a lot of nostalgia in this record, a lot of songs that are pretty different from the previous sound of this band, but it was all intentional, 100% intentional. The record itself came from an idea I had long ago when nobody would really side with me on what I wanted to do for records. I kind of just had to go with the grain of everybody else, and then one day I didn't have anybody else, so I decided to do whatever the hell I wanted to do with it. And that's why this entire record is very special to me, because it was all me. Aside from a couple titles and a few ideas here and or there in a few songs, everything else on this record is completely me. It's all from what goes on up here, and regardless of the circumstances, I was still able to produce something that I was happy with.
I wanna bust my head through the fucking glass.
Solid is a song I wrote out of complete anger. That opening line pretty much sets the scene for the rest of the song. I wanna bust my head through the fucking glass. I love that line because it's real and raw and impactful, and it's legitimately how I really felt while writing Solid. I think it's one of the more cathartic songs on the record, be it dealing with a rough past or a not so good looking future, if you will. Whatever the reasons behind it, which I can't exactly put my finger on. Maybe one day I'll be able to talk about dig down deep inside and figure out what the fuck this song is really about, but just total anger. And I think a lot of people in today's society can definitely relate to a song that is driven by anger and just being pissed off at everything for no reason and every reason all at once. This is one of those songs that stands true to me. I still enjoy it as much as I enjoyed it while I was writing it. I think the guitar work in this song is some of my favorite, but not my favorite. The solo on this song came out of nowhere. I think I just hit record and just started playing. I might have done 3 or 4 different takes and found my favorite one, locked it in there, and lo and behold, you have the solo in Solid. Just something that can be related to, in less than a positive light, but relatable nonetheless. There was a time in my life when I was a lot younger and a lot less wise. And I ended up writing a song about what happened to me when I was young and dumb. I'm sure everybody can relate to it. I fell in love. Only I fell in love with a stripper. So, not my best move in life, but made a pretty cool song, I guess. She did me in for quite a bit of money and shattered my heart. Damn. This song came from a less than fortunate situation. Take You Home Tonight is a very upbeat song. It follows the feel of kind of a rockabilly 50s bouncy sort of feel, but keeps that heavy driven fucking nasty dirty fucking guitar shit going on in there, I had a Volbeat moment, I guess, where I wanted to write something that had that 50s rockabilly feel, but that heavy grooving Metallica-esque kind of element to it. So Take You Home Tonight came out, and then when I first wrote it, it was actually significantly different. It was way different when I first wrote this song, but after having the time to play around with it as much as I did and hold on to it tucked away for as long as it was, I obviously changed as a person, changed as a musician. The one thing that did not change about this song is the lyrical content. Every lyric in this song is still 100% the exact same way it was when I first wrote it. Because oftentimes I'll take a song that I wrote eons ago, put it on the desk in the studio today, and erase this, cut that out, put something else in the place of that word, take this entire line and move it up here, things like that. And this song, I never had to do anything like that. I didn't want to do anything like that. I just kept it straight, true, original. And I think it's a very fun song. If you really pay attention as a youngster, you might learn a thing or two of what not to do when you're growing up. But do it anyways, because it might make a cool song, right? One of the songs on Committed that I did actually have a little bit of help with is Metropolis Angel. I didn't have any help with the music behind it or anything like that. It was all just strictly lyrical content. I was working as a welder for Fritz Welding, a good buddy of mine, Ryan Fritz. We were doing a wrought iron fence job around a apartment complex in Austin, Texas. That complex is called the Metropolis Apartments. The stories could go forever in just the 4 short months we were there that felt like 4 long years. And one day Ryan comes to me, he's like hanging off the side of this wrought iron fence and just like flips his hood up. Hey, we should write a song about this place. I'm like, are you fucking crazy? Nobody's gonna listen to that shit. This place is insane in some of the best of ways, but it's insane nonetheless. You're probably right. We should write a song about this place. We're stopping every couple minutes, lift our hoods up and get on our phones and take a quick note to some of the shit that happened there. Talk about some of the sights we've seen and some things that we will never talk about, at least not to anybody but each other. And we put our lyrics together. I came back to the studio at the end of that week, mashed them all in one. Metropolis Angel was born. And I think given the numbers since the release of Committed, Metropolis Angel is doing so much better than I thought it would do. A lot of y'all seem to enjoy that song, which I'm damn glad of it too, because it's so fun. There's an element behind this song that you don't necessarily expect from the Fallback Plan sound, but it's in there and it's cool, you know. It's got a touch of everything because the Metropolis Apartments had a touch of everyone. So there were hippies, there were metalheads, there were skaters, just so many different kinds of people there that when I was writing the music to this song, I knew I have to put as many different music styles in Metropolis Angel as possible. And maybe I didn't quite hit the nail on the head with that idea, but I did my best, and I guess numbers are showing that it's paying off. So Metropolis Angel, great fucking song, hilarious fucking story. What's Done in the Dark obviously was released before Committed. It was released as an unplugged version on the Unplugged EP. I didn't know what I wanted to do with it for the longest time, so it was one of those songs that went to the graveyard, you know. Tuck it in the drawer of the desk, leave it there until I go through some old papers and find it and think maybe I could do something with it now. And that's exactly what happened. That song seemed to be doing the best from the Unplugged EP, so I decided, let's take What's Done in the Dark, turn it into a full band Fallback Plan song. So What's Done in the Dark, Committed version, was born. I think one of the main driving forces behind this song, surprisingly enough, is the acoustic guitar. Without that 6th string, which is right here, there would be so much dead space for the demo-ish version of this song. That's all I did, was just laid down that acoustic, sang over top of it. I went back to the beginning, took out the acoustic, gave it a listen, and was like, oh shit, I can't take that guitar out. I put the acoustic back in, did a couple finishing touches on it, and it just sounded so much better. I tucked it back a little bit farther than it was in the beginning, but you would definitely notice if the 6th string was gone from that song. So it's totally the driving force behind this song. I really, really like the lyrical content. I like how it gives you a message. Basically just don't do bad shit and not expect bad shit to happen to you. And I am probably the most guilty in the world of that very thing right there. And that's why I wrote the song. I've done some pretty rough shit in life that I know one day is gonna come back and bite me in the ass. And I'm just gonna, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do, but I'll figure it out when we get there. Fight Like a Man, or otherwise known as Flam on the set lists, is one of the oldest songs on this record. It was the first song I wrote for Committed. It was actually supposed to be the title track of its record. The Committed was originally supposed to be called Fight Like a Man. We had a album cover and everything laid out for it, ready to go, and then the unfortunate downfall of the Fallback plan, losing previous members and being left here to my own devices by myself. Nobody wanted to do anything with that song when I first wrote it. I sent off some emails to the previous members and was like, what do y'all think about this? I was just not getting good responses. Pretty much just trashed Fight Like a Man. I don't want to do anything with it anymore. I just want to, again, tuck it away in that graveyard, you know? And then when I had that internal uprising in my mind, like, I'm gonna fucking release a record no matter what, Fight Like a Man came back. I was like, I'm not gonna make you the title track, I'm so sorry. We're gonna change everything completely, but you will make the album. So I didn't really change a whole lot of Fight Like a Man from its original form. I changed a little bit in the solo, which the solo section of this song was so different when I first wrote it. There was a lot less going on. It was very much more emo-esque, you know. So I went back and changed the solo a little bit to make it a little more country fan friendly. A couple vocal parts changed a little bit, but not so much that you would be able to tell a massive difference from its original form to its Committed form. But yeah, I mean, my wife really likes the song, so I guess I kind of like it too, right? This song is in no way, shape, or form supposed to take away from women or gender equality or anything like that. It's actually a total slap in the face to toxic masculinity. I've had to deal with it my entire life. It seems every job site I've ever been on, I've come across that freaking Neanderthalic dickhead who just wants to prove his worth and show his dominance. Also, it gives guys a bad rap, you know? Guys who act like dickheads give other guys a bad name. And not all guys are dickheads, not all guys are good guys. You know, there's nothing in life worth being an asshole over. Just love each other. Be nice to people. Even if it is a guy being nice to another guy. Especially if it's a guy being nice to another guy. I don't know, I'm honestly probably gonna catch some flack for that one day because, shit. You know how people are. Part-Time Narcissist. One of my favorite songs on the record for a multitude of reasons. One of the main reasons is because it's another one of those slap in the face songs. It's not intended to sound like I am actually a narcissist. It's supposed to mean the exact opposite. I've come across so many people in the past, especially people who are affiliated with the Fallback plan, that I've had to, in a sense, prove myself to in a positive manner, I guess. I have a vision for this band. I've always had a vision for this band. I know where I want it to go, and I know how to get there. I just need the people affiliated with this band to trust me. I've always been more than open and willing to hear what y'all have to say about things, and I mean, that's why we come to the fans. That's why I specifically go to the fans in shows and in the podcast, asking, what do you like about us? What can we continue to do? And what can we stop doing that you don't like? I try to get everybody's input When it comes to something that I foresee being detrimental to this business, I'm gonna have to veto it, you know? I know what my personal success looks like, and some people just can't see that. They just want to write me off as a narcissistic asshole, you know? And it's just not true. But in good light, I wrote a song poking fun at that way of thinking about me. Listen to the lyrics. I'm obviously just poking fun, making fun of myself throughout the entirety of the song, but also making fun of the fact that I have to come out and say, I am not a narcissist. Does that make me a narcissist? Maybe. I don't know. Mostly just part-time, I guess. We've only incorporated this song in shows a few times, but it's a fun crowd sing-along. When we get to the ending part with all the background vocals, the whoa, that's where I'll allow the entire crowd to get on stage, because just like the lyrics say, come up here and join me on stage, because the one thing I love most about this is that I'm only a part-time narcissist. Y'all get some shine time too. Without y'all, we are not us, you know? Come up here and help us out. Sing this song. And that's gone over very well in the past few shows we've played it in. And I think we'll definitely continue to incorporate crowd sing-along and people joining us on stage. Yeah, just kind of poking fun, making fun of myself, making fun of the situation, and giving the crowd their shine time. A while back, I caught myself counting cars along the highway as I was driving to work. Really dug deep into this fucking crazy room up top. What am I doing here, dude? Like, is this really what there is in life? There's a line in a movie out there that says, what if this is as good as it gets? This can't be as good as it gets. So I wrote a song called Beauty in Life, talking about the possibility of this is as good as it gets. And I tried to incorporate all of that way of thinking in this song. There's a lyric in Beauty in Life that really stood out to me when I wrote it. How am I supposed to enjoy what I've made when the world takes all of me? More so pertaining to people who are happy with the amount of money they have because of how much they work. I am not a live to work kind of person. I am a work to live kind of person. So when I sing that lyric, that's exactly what that means. Is, yeah, sure, you can be a multi-millionaire, but what are you gonna do with all that money if you never have free time? Live life, man. You cannot take it with you. All that green stays behind. You cannot take it with you. Use it up. Enjoy what is left of your life while you can. Everybody. Because one, you can't take it with you, and two, you never know. You're not going to be around forever, and you just never know. The solo in this song is without a doubt my favorite solo on the entire record. Not to gloat or anything, but it was a one-take solo. I didn't know what I wanted to do for it. I just knew that I wanted to use a pentatonic scale and a wah pedal. So I hooked everything up, went to my scale, hit record, laid it down. And what you hear on the record is what came out the very first time. I'm extremely proud of myself for laying down a solo like Beauty in Life solo. I just really like how much technique was incorporated, you know? But Beauty in Life, cover to cover, I thoroughly enjoy this song, and I think y'all will too if you have anything in your head that says there's gotta be something more to life than what this is right here.
Well, she asked if she would ever see.
Broken Arrow is a song I wrote in the month of October. I think I've always had a tendency to write some of my own personal favorite songs in the fall months. But that doesn't exactly stand true for Broken Arrow. Broken Arrow is not one of my favorite songs. I don't know if I didn't spend as much time on this one or what it was, but In terms of the lyrical content and the overall story behind Broken Arrow, it's mostly a song of wonder. The story is a guy and a girl who meet up for not a very extended period of time, but just long enough to start to get to know each other, and then it's cut off like that because one's got to go this way, the other's got to go that way, and then they always wonder for the rest of their lives or however long, what could it have been? And then the song kind of takes a turn to say, well, I mean, thank God you'll never know because you could have broke each other's hearts. I feel like there's been a lot of different people in many different situations like that, where they wonder for so long and then they beat themselves up about it, but then they turn right around and they're like, you know what, it could have been a total disaster. So I thank God for not knowing. Either way, I thank God for not knowing, you know. While it's not the last song on the record, it was the last song I wrote for Committed. Down was sort of one of those cathartic feels, you know, a little bit of anger behind this one. It kind of has a reflection of beauty in life, but the more positive side of things. The whole concept behind being down for so long that you're just so done and over it, like the lyric in there that says, "Get back, I'm coming up for air." Move out of the way, motherfuckers. I'm done being down. I'm coming up. Get back. Somebody who's beaten down for so long and just been in the gutters of life for so long that you've finally had it. You're just like staring the way out in the face. And you're like, all right, you are a big, scary son of a bitch, but I'm going to take you on anyways. Some of my favorite lyrical content is in Down, mostly because it's relatable. I think any and everybody who hears this song in some way, shape, or form can relate to it. And if you can't, let me know. I'd like to meet you. I'd like you to be my friend because you've got it figured out, dude. The majority of people should be able to relate to a song like Down. Some of the instrumentals in this song are not necessarily my favorite, but they're up there. They're definitely up there. I really enjoyed laying all of the guitar tracks to this song. Down is just, it's a whirlwind of different instruments going on all at once. There's some stuff in there y'all probably can't even hear. I almost forgot to talk about the phone call. It's supposed to be me talking to myself. Like, hey, dude, this is fucking ridiculous. I really think you need to suck some pride and go talk to somebody about this, because there's no way you're ever going to come up for air if you don't, you know? And the phone call is supposed to obviously set the mood for the song. Hopefully I drove that one home with that intro. I love the acoustic. It kind of goes back to a Blink-182 style. Starts out slow, acoustic, makes things a lot more sad boy emo, you know? All in all, Down was a really fun song to do. I really like the lyrical content. I love how all the instruments mesh together. I really like the song Down. I really do. And I hope y'all like it too. Memory Song is, gosh, I carried this song around with me for years and years before I decided to do anything with it. There was a long time ago, I tried to record this song with the full band, and it just wasn't sounding the way I wanted it to. Back when I wrote this song, I was more into the feel of just strictly Texas country. The first cut of this song was kind of a Daughtry feel, and while I am a huge Daughtry fan, I didn't like it back then. I didn't want this song to sound like that. I wanted it to sound like Granger Smith or Aaron Watson, you know, but I couldn't drive it home with that country feel. When the idea for Committed came around, I had to fill slots for this record, and I hate to think that Memory Song was just a filler, but went back in the archives, found some old songs. I was like, I gotta find a filler. I have to find some kind of filler song. I rediscovered Memory Song, and Memory Song is anything but a filler. That's why I made it the last track, the last song on the album, because it wraps everything up with a nice pretty bow, sets the final scene as bright and look what we just went through. Finally, we've made it. We're at the end. It's the final scene, the one that wraps everything up nicely, you know? So I'm very glad that Memory Song got to see the light of day. It has a whole new feel today than it did so many years ago when I first wrote it. Not a whole lot of lyrical content was changed, but instrumentally definitely changed quite a bit from its original format. But I think I'm more happy with the way Memory Song turned out today than I ever would have been had I cut it so many years ago. The outro of this song, in the beginning, supposed to take kind of a We Rode in Trucks by Luke Bryan kind of feel, because that's the kind of shit that I listen to, not religiously, but back when I wrote this song, that was the kind of feel that I would listen to, and those kinds of things really struck me hard. So the end of that song, We Rode in Trucks, has this full band comeback where everybody comes back in. There's no vocals, no singing or anything. It's just all these instruments doing all these melodic, beautiful things until it gets to the fade out, you know? So I wanted to incorporate that in its original form. And I guess that way of thinking stood true even here at 26 years old. You know, I must have wrote this song when I was 18 or so. I don't know, but it's funny the things that stay with you and the things that leave you over time. I'm glad Memory Song turned out the way it did. I like the new Memory Song. I love everything about it.
Of a jacked up truck in a heartbreak town. One last kiss, then she turned around.
I'm Luke Garrison, the frontman of the Fallback Clan. Thank you so much for diving into the history of Committed. Check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Luke Garrison TFP. Go check out our podcast, The Fallback Podcast. For any other information regarding merchandise, show dates, or anything else Fallback related, check out our website. It is thefallbackplan.wixsite.com. Thanks so much, guys. God bless you.